Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is Thursday. Yeah, so today we'll be talking about on what are the things that you have to bring with you when you come here to Malta. So if you guys want to know more about it, all you have to do is just please stay tuned on my channel. First things first, shout out to River. I think that's her name. Yeah, she was the first person who commented in my video from the previous one. So thank you, River, for subscribing and watching my videos and being the first person to comment on my video. And for those people who just recently subscribed to my channel, my name is Haley and I currently work and live here in Malta. Yeah, so without further ado, let's just basically get on to the so guys, yeah, so so what are the requirements, or not really requirements, but basically what are the documents that you have to bring with you when you come here to Malta? So the number one is, of course, you have to make sure that you bring a copy of your resume or your curriculum vitae, because number one, that's needed when you go to Identity of Malta to submit all your documents. I think that depends on your line of employment or your line of work, that is, but it's better to have a copy or secure a copy, photocopy, yeah, whatever, just a copy. Bring a copy of your resume or your curriculum vitae. Number two, you have to make sure that you bring your original certificates of training on whatever field that you are in. So you have to make sure that you have it with you, and also secure a copy or photocopy while you're still in the Philippines before you go here, because you have to also submit that to Identity of Malta. Again, that depends on your line of employment or line of job or work. Yeah, because in my experience, so what I'm saying, I'm just talking about my experience, but it can also be, something that can also be relatable to your line of work, or pwede namang hindi rin. Number three is actually you have to make sure that you bring the original copies of your certificate of employment and reference letter from your previous employer in the Philippines, most especially if you have stayed in the company for about like 5 years, 2 years, or 3 years, because yeah, it's better to have a backup. Identity of Malta does actually conduct a background check in the Philippines, so they contact, or yeah, they usually email, or I think calling, but it's mostly email. They're sending emails to your previous employer just to verify if you have really worked in this company. So you have to make sure that you bring the original copy and secure photocopies as well of your reference letter from your previous employer or from your previous boss, same as with a certificate of employment. Why? Because Identity of Malta is also asking that for you guys. To submit it once you come here and go to Identity of Malta to secure all the necessary or all the remaining documents that you have to submit in order to get your physical ID, your work permit ID. And yeah, and also, as far as I know, Identity of Malta is trying to reach out as well, or will be conducting a background check from your previous employer, just trying to see and verify if you have really worked on this company for the number of years that you declare to your employer, same as to Identity of Malta. So that's really better that you have a copy, and your employer, you inform your employer about it, or your previous employer, that is. Number four, it's actually you have to make sure that you bring the original copy of your NBI when you come here. So because it's also needed, Identity of Malta is asking for that. So, and also, once you decided to move to another company here in Malta, or once your contract has ended with the previous company, or with your current company that you're working with, and you decided to move to another company, that's also needed because they usually ask for it. Yeah, so it's better to bring your or it's not better, but it is a must that you have to bring your NBI copy, the original one, with you. For birth certificate, it's not really necessary, but it's better to as well to secure a copy of it, just so some companies are kind of asking for it, but it's not really mandatory. Yeah, of course. Next is your passport. I mean, you cannot go here without your passport, so you have to make sure that your passport is not 6 months or is not actually about to expire within 6 months. So I'm sure sa agency pa lang, they are going to inform you already whether your passport needs to be updated or needs to be renewed, because that's really needed. Next is of course your work contract. You have to make sure that before you leave the Philippines and before you leave your agency, you have the copy of your work contract that is signed by your employer, same as by you, because that, and also there's a stamp by Polo Rome and POEA, and there's a red ribbon, because that's needed. I mean, that's technically needed, or else yeah, it's going to be a mess. I mean, I'm going to say it like in the bad words, but yeah, or else you'll be in trouble if you don't do that. So you have to make sure that you basically secure everything, most especially with the work contract. So you have to check and double check and check and check and check. That is. Next is of course your payos. Yeah, so you have to make sure that you have your payos as soon as you have took, yeah, because I took it online, so I'm not sure right now on how does it go. So make sure you have a copy of it. You print it out, or you ask your agency to print it out for you, because it's needed. But mostly they would print it out for you, but if they didn't, make sure that you remind them to do so, because that's needed, and immigration officers in the Philippines are looking into it. Or yeah. And next is of course your OEC. Of course, you cannot leave the Philippines without OEC. We all know that, and that's a struggle of being an OFW. So that's the first thing that they look for, especially in the immigration in the Philippines, in order, it's because it's your exit pass outside the country to legally work outside the country. I mean, most especially here in Malta. So make sure you have your OEC, because technically the agency would not let you go not unless you have your OEC released. And yeah, medical insurance and travel certificates, or yeah, medical insurance, or medical or travel insurance is something that you can bring with you, because I mean, you already pay for it when you apply for the visa, so might as well bring it with you, just in case it's your security. Because as what I've said, your work permit ID is going to take for about like 2 weeks to 1 month before it will get released. So just make sure that you secure all the remaining documents with you as soon as you come here, because that's needed. So it doesn't just stop there. Like, I know you have already secured all the documents when you are in the Philippines in order for you to get the work permit approval letter, but that, as what I've said in my previous video, it's just only the work permit approval letter, because as soon as you come here, you still have to secure some remaining documents, most especially the x-ray. By the way guys, with the x-ray, I know that's already included on the medical on the medical documents that you have from the Philippines or from the agency. But as soon as you come here, you still have to take an x-ray on the clinics, on the clinics that is affiliated to the government clinics here in Malta. So that would cost for about like 55 euros, I think. 55 to 60 euros. And make sure that you have secure a photocopy as well of that, because that's something that you can use. It depends, as far as I know, if you are on the medical field, like carers, nurse, you have to take it like yearly, because it's needed. I mean, but in my case, since I work in the office, that x-ray is actually good for 5 years. So yeah, so that's it. So if you guys, I hope you guys learn more about it, more about Malta. So I hope this video gives you more information about Malta. And yeah, oh, by the way, I remember there's someone who asked about the tax. The tax would actually range for about like 15 to 20% per month of your of the tax for OFWs like us. So it really depends. It's really big though, because it's 15 to 20%, come on, of your salary that's going to be deducted, right? So imagine how much would that be. So it really depends on the range of your salary on how much is the deduction, but it's more likely it's just a percentage. It's between 15 to 20%. So that's it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video and have actually gotten more information about Malta. If you still have some more questions, so please do not forget to leave it in the comment section box below. But please, for those people who kept on asking about other things that I have already addressed or answered from the previous vlog, please take time to actually watch my other videos, because I'm sure those are also informative, that can definitely answer your questions, most especially when it comes to visa, work permit, and other things that, you know, can actually help you out when it comes to Malta. And that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching.